I said he's talking about roses, dancing, and like being super, super appreciative of like roses and dancing. I'm like, does that mean anything to you? And my client goes, that's Apolaki. That's one of my deities. And I'm like, what? Right? You're sucking me into the crack of the couch. Hi, I'm Em. And I'm Liv, and we're your Meta PsycKicks. Today, we're going to be talking about deities in another Paranormal Stories of a Medium. Well, if you guys are interested, we do this series once a month, so check out the playlist. It's going to be cool because when I became a professional medium, I guess professional means that you do things for money. I thought it meant that you had to be good at something. And she's like, no. There are people that are professionals that are not good at things. They just get paid to do it.
Professional means that you make a living off of it. It's your profession.
Literally thought being a professional meant you had to be good at something. And Em said, did you know that there's mediums on the internet that talk about talking to deities? And I was like, are you kidding me? That is the most ridiculous, scammy stuff I have ever heard in my entire existence. Those people are fakes.
And it's not because she doesn't believe deities exist. She just doesn't believe a deity would talk to a human.
Exactly. Like, why would an ethereal being of such high power, presumably, talk to tiny little me or tiny little other people on the internet? And
I mean, you talk to spiders, wouldn't it be the same thing?
Spiders are not deities.
I know, but you would be a deity to a spider, right? Because you're fucking big.
I'm quite sure that spiders have the same type of like energy as a cat, and cats do not think that humans are cooler than them. I'm quite sure if a spider could bitch smack me, it would. But anyways, so she says deities. They're talking to mediums, and I said, that is a load of malarkey, my friend.
Can you talk to deities?
And if you guys are new to our channel, or if you're not, we have something called being spiritually spanked. And that's what happened to me. So, do deities talk to mediums? Yes, and here are some stories. That's pretty good. I did face things so that you can make noises. I really hope you do that.
Spiders, they want me to tap dance. I don't want to tap dance.
You tell those spiders wrong.
So, what was the first time a deity came and talked to you? Because she literally called me right after and was like, a deity talked to me, and I was like, yep, that'll happen.
So I used to not like to really speak to spirit guides because, again, as a medium, I don't control the information that comes in. So when it comes to spirit guides, I think that's even more of me to have something like hands off with. But when I was giving a reading one day, it was a medium reading, and this spirit or soul came up to me and looked like a spirit guide. Dude had like a black bodysuit type thing and like this big giant mask, like one of those big wooden masks, and then there was straw coming out of it from all sides. And I'm like, okay, this has to be a spirit guide, right? So I'm talking to my client and I said, hey, this is what this guide looks like, or this soul looks like. It's very weird. I feel like it might be a spirit guide of some sorts, but I'm not entirely sure because they're coming in on a different side for me. And I said he's talking about roses, dancing, and like being super, super appreciative of like roses and dancing. I'm like, does that mean anything to you? And my client goes, that's Apolaki. That's one of my deities. And I'm like, what? And she goes, I did a rose dance ritual thing for Apolaki, the Filipino sun god, or one of the Filipino sun gods. And I did that literally yesterday. So this deity came to me as a medium to tell my client that he or they were proud of my client and appreciated the ritual that they did for them and heard it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do deity readings. Like
It's
tell
wild.
people who their deities are, like what are around them.
That's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
So that absolutely blew my mind. I was 100% spiritually spanked. And you could talk to deities when you're a medium.
But Apolaki, I did research on him. He is the sun god, and he's the god of the sun and war. So he looks over people who are warriors or do things like that, like martial arts policemen, people like that. But there's a weird story about him. But you saw a blue guy with him?
Mm-hmm. Who was supposed to be the moon god or something. He showed me moon and water. So there was Apolaki who presented himself, and then there was also another god. There's actually three. So the blue one looked very similar to Apolaki, same sort of like black bodysuit body, but his mask was blue, kind of like the mask from
Oh, his mask is blue, so he's not blue?
no.
I see.
It was kind of like the mask from Avatar that Zuko wears, the blue spirit mask, but it didn't have the same, it wasn't square, it was circular, like Apolaki's almost like an oval shape.
Aren't those Philippine masks? Like,
Yes!
those are masks from the Philippines.
I
Did you
think
know
so.
that before you saw them?
No!
Oh, okay.
Exactly!
Like, they're big, slender, and oval, if you guys know.
and they're wooden, I believe.
I might be able to find one.
But it was painted blue and the face was different than Apolaki's. Apolaki had like teeth and a big smile and his eyes were big and bright. However, and his energy was different as well. It was very upbeat, very happy, and he was like literally dancing like I assume my client was too, or something similar. It was
Gotcha.
really cute. And then the blue one that I think is a moon god. However, when I looked it up, this is where it gets confusing.
When I looked it up.
Well, I looked it up too afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Well, my client wanted to know about a female god or goddess, and I said, well, the only thing I'm getting is I see the color purple. It's like a misty, sparkly purple, and I see a woman that I see like the silhouette of a woman, and she's going through the woods at night, and it's like dusky, so I can see the moon coming through the trees, and the trees were not like trees where we live. It was more of like a forest, like a rainforest type setting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wild. And I said, I don't know who this is, but that's who I think the moon goddess was.
Yeah.
So that's why I was confused that the other deity that was male gave me like a watery presence,
Yeah.
like the moon, but I don't know who he's associated to. But my client, long story short, these 3 deities are very, very, very important to her, and they just wanted to come in to talk about how they recognize the things that she does for them and wanted to say thank you by telling me what she does.
What does the blue guy do?
I don't know. He helps with
Do you know
emotions.
his name?
I don't remember.
Because Apolaki had a sister, and he was born from, what is this guy's name? Bathala?
Okay.
Is he Bathala? Bathala is the creator of the world. He is an earth god.
Yeah, I see green for Bathala. I
Oh,
don't
it's a
see
different
blue.
dude. Okay.
Yeah, and he's very large.
You see him? Bathala?
He talks funny. It's like a giant grumbling roar.
Yeah, I can hear it.
That's cool.
Is he in the earth?
He says yes and no.
Is the earth hollow? What is in the earth?
I don't know. I feel the hollow feeling too. Like the middle part.
He's like showing it to me.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like in there.
He's like the Atlas, but instead of holding the earth up, he's in the middle of it.
Like he uses the earth's vibration to speak.
Yeah, because I feel like he's saying I'm a part of the earth, but then he was also showing me wind.
Because that's part of the earth.
But if he's in the hollow spot,
Yeah.
then that would be the air he's showing me.
No.
Oh, God.
But he is the father of Apolaki. There's a weird story about how I was researching it, and Apolaki was like, this is like my origin story that the people like came up with, but it's like it's kind of like a story, but it's also like people like to use it to explain things, but it's not actually how it was. So Apolaki has a sister, and her name's Mayari, and she is the goddess of the moon. But before Bathala died, they ruled the earth together, or they both were like a sun. So it was constantly the same amount of light. Like there wasn't a sun and a moon, they were both suns. Mm-hmm. So
He and Bathala.
when Bathala is the earth.
Okay. Who were
Mayara is the moon, and Apolaki is the sun.
the two? Okay.
But they both had the same amount of light, and their light shined through their eyes. So when Bathala died, Apolaki was like, I'm gonna rule over the earth because my father died. I'm the man. I'm supposed to be in charge of shit. And Mayari was like, bitch, please. So they fought, and Apolaki blinded Mayari in one of her eyes, and then felt so bad about it that he then decided to rule with her together. But that is why she is now the moon, and the moon is lesser light because one of her eyes is gone. So that's why it's not as bright as the sun anymore.
Got it.
Origin stories.
That's
He's like,
cute.
it's not true, but it's what people think. It's an origin story, like a superhero.
That's cute. So I'm never giving a tarot versus psychic medium reading. If you don't know what that is, the link is in the description. It's great. I do medium things. Em does tarot stuff. It's awesome. I say things that she pulls cards for. She pulls cards for things that I'm saying. It's awesome. So we were doing a psychic medium versus tarot card reading, and our client was talking about, well, we were talking to her spirit guide. She had one spirit guide that was a tree, and he was specifically an oak tree. And if you guys don't know, this was actually close to where our Ohm video was. It was like right after our Ohm video.
Yeah. What was with the acorns? She's telling me don't forget about the acorns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Acorns are important. Because in Celtic religion, oak trees are sacred. So she has a spirit guide that's an oak tree. Didn't she have acorns on the windowsill or something?
That's why.
He's showing me.
Because I was like, it's more than that.
Acorns on the windowsill. Something about acorns on the windowsill. Those are from him. So she, our client, was talking about her beliefs and things like that, and she's into the Celtic beliefs. So our last client was very much into Filipino religions and practices. Our next client is now into Celtic or Norse religions and practices. So we didn't know this, and I'm telling her that she has an oak tree as a spirit guide, and then she's telling me about acorns on her windowsill, and I'm like, those are from your spirit guide. He's an oak tree. Then she starts telling me, well, no, we had cats. She had spirit cats following her.
Oh.
Remember the spirit cats?
Spirit cats?
The 2 spirit cats.
Okay.
Because they weren't actually there, and they weren't cats that were passed, because I was confused.
Are they black and white? Like one's white and one's
Yes.
black? Okay, I see that.
Yes. So she has these cats that follow her, and
they're interesting, because when I see animals, I have a hard time determining if they're alive or dead. So spirit shows me by putting like a thing on their forehead to determine that they are like spirit guide kind of things, like Shinigami.
Not souls.
And they usually have a very specific like try something, but these cats have 2 moons, but they face each other.
That's cute.
They're like this. Like one's this side and the other one's that side.
Mm-hmm.
Like the white one is this way and then the black one is that way. You're welcome.
That's cute. So I was confused as a medium why 2 spirit cats were coming out of my right-hand side, and this woman was like, I do not have any cats that are dead. And I was like, well, there's cats that follow you. Cats. And she's like, that's cool. Cats are cool. And there was this woman spirit there. And I'm thinking, okay, she's a spirit guide. She's here to guide this woman. She has like long brownish red hair and this huge giant dress that's like like from the Celtic time period kind of. And I'm thinking, okay, who's this woman? Who's this woman? And she's like, I send the cats to look over her. And I was like, okay. So I'm like, you have cats that help guide you. They watch over you, yada, 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 but they're sent from this woman. And I said, this is what she looks like. She has a very like earthly, motherly kind of feeling. Very like, when she talks, it's almost like there's an echo, if that makes any sense. Can you hear it?
It's because she's really far away.
Mm.
She's like showing me it echoes through clouds. Does that make sense?
I see it echoing through stone.
Hmm.
Anyways, so she starts talking about her Celtic religion and goes, oh, well, I'm really interested in the one goddess called Freya. And Em pulls a card. We have to get the card. Do you have the card?
Yeah.
And as this woman starts talking about Freya, I'm still talking to this spirit woman, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, what does Freya have to do with anything? And I'm just listening because whatever. And this spirit makes me look at this card that Em pulls, and she's gonna
No,
get it
you
out.
started explaining the card.
Did I?
Yeah. You were like, there's this woman that's being like pulled in a chariot by 2 cats. Does that even make sense to you? And I think you knew it was Freya, so you were like, is this Freya? And then the card that was next to you was there, and I was like, you should look at this card because it is exactly what you're seeing.
So she made me look at this card.
Can't look at your face. Your face is more important.
And she shows me the 2 cats being pulled by the chariot. And I'm like, holy poop! We're talking to Freya! Hello. Thank you for acknowledging me. I'm glad you guys were able to piece this together. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. And this woman was over the moon. She's like, I love Freya. I'm like, Freya loves you. She's got cats for you. She's pulling cards for you. She's telling Em that she needs to be better because she knows that she's better.
Why was she there? Was she a spirit guide?
Yes. She literally helps guide this woman. She is a woman spirit guide.
But why? Why this woman?
Why are you making me do all of these things?
Because
She's telling me past lives because of past lives.
because I get pieces of it, but you get more. That's why I make you do it.
I feel like she was supposed to protect this girl more in one life, and it kind of got messed up, which is why she's more prevalent now.
Got you. Weird.
Things from her past life are being tied into this life because they were supposed to be learned in that life, but they weren't. Because I also know that I think Freya deals with, like, marriages.
Yeah, she deals with fertility.
Yeah, I feel like something spiritually got foobarred, and she was supposed to help more, and she wasn't able to, so that's why she's here now for this girl. More so. She says yes and no.
Yeah. So
It's complicated.
Freya is the god of love and fertility. Also, I have another question. So, a lot of people, I feel like, put her in, like, she rules the Fae Realm. Does that make sense? Because I see Freya associated with fairies a lot in movies.
She's laughing.
Why? Because I think that's weird. That she's a Norse god that is being associated with love and fertility, but somehow, why is she attached to fairies?
Well, I know Celtic religion thinks that fairies are very bad, or not necessarily bad, but have more of a negative
like
connotation.
trickstery. And that's how they're perceived in the movies, too. Is Freya is, like, scary because she rules these trickster-like beings.
Oh, she's laughing because she's saying that she's friends with them because she can speak their language.
Oh, interesting.
She's showing me, like, when you walk into a bar, but everyone at the bar is fairies. And they're like, hey!
No, like, what is the importance of you telling me that she speaks the same language as fairies? Because I asked you, why is she associated with fairies?
She
but
says
if she
the
can
people
speak with everyone.
Oh, the people associated with fairies. She's
Oh.
like, it's just one of those things. Like
Okay.
how Apolaki said that
Origin stories.
the origin story is true, but it's also not true. There's like two truths and a lie. She's
Yeah.
like, I don't rule over the fairies, but people have perceived me with the fairies.
Ah. So
So-
they just get pieces.
Yes.
Weird.
Like most people.
That's funny.
Yeah. She said there's one fairy that's bad, and that gave all the fairies a bad rap. It's a boy fairy, or a male presenting fairy. She's like, not all fairies are bad. There's just one that gave everyone a bad rap.
Interesting. Yeah. Because a lot of people are very off-put by fairies.
Does anybody know the, what is it? The Brothers Grimm fairy tales? No?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I read a fan fiction about a Brothers Grimm fairy tale, and there's this one guy that I don't know who it is because fan fiction is always spin-offs of things. So long story short, there was this guy who actually was playing Little Red Riding Hood. So Little Red Riding Hood was a guy, and he had to get from one side of the village to the other to deliver cookies. But he had to go through one middle point to get to the other side. However, the fairy tale character that was in the middle point lived in this big giant castle, and he was just this whole dude that when you walk in, it would be like where Em wants to live, where like the corgis bite your ankles and he forces you to like make lightning noises when you walk into a room.
Yeah.
Like that type of thing. And he's like, he is bad. Like if you say something wrong to him, he'll literally kill you. But if you know what to say, you're fine and you'll be best friends. But you also don't want to be best friends with him because if you do, you're going to be in the same position where he might kill you again.
Yeah.
So it's like a double-edged sword of either he hates you or he likes you, but then you have to be around him and you don't want to, and he could still kill you.
So that's this guy.
Yes.
This fairy guy.
Yeah. She's saying not all fairies are like that, but this one guy gave everyone a bad rap. She's like, I am not the god of fairies. I just understand them because humans don't. And when humans were able to perceive them, because a lot of things with religion is when people had less ego and were more spiritually connected. I feel like nowadays that's not a lot of the case. they were able to pick up on pieces of him, like Em and I, like mediums, and that's what they got from it.
He's weird. There's like really dark stories about Peter Pan, and that's what they're associating him with. Like he looks like real, like I'm a little boy, like I'm gonna be young forever.
But then he turns around and is like dark.
And then he has like fire that like transitions him into scary things.
Yeah, and she's telling me that other fairies used to follow him, but it's not the same.
Yeah, like he uses his fairy powers
To manipulate other fairies.
Yeah, because he thinks it's fun.
So maybe that's why she like defeated him or something, or put him in his place. And they're like, she's the goddess of fairies. She's like, nah.
No.
We throw a couple back.
So if you guys want to hear more stories about the deities that we have talked to, check out our podcast, because we're going to go through all of them, hopefully.
That we've talked to so far.
Yeah, so again, if you guys are interested in more of our paranormal stories of a medium, check out the playlist. But in our next video...
Listener stories!
Yeah.
Yes!
If you guys have any stories that you would like to submit for one of our future listener stories, make sure to go to the description below, and you can submit your
paranormal, spiritual, spooky, metaphysical stories of any kind or nature.
But make sure they're original, because I will check. If you guys want to see that content, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you get notified the next time we post.
Until next time, happy holidays! We are your Meta PsycKicks! Do you guys know we have a Patreon? Do you want to be a part of a really cool, inclusive, metaphysical community where you can talk about all things metaphysical, spiritual, and paranormal with all of your best friends from around the world? Go to Patreon, description below.